So there was no age, but they didn't abide to what the government says about what age. They brought it upon themselves to figure it out.
Yeah,
and the good book, I'm sure, had some guidance as well. But
what chapter was that in? No cable.
Dude, yeah. Revelations, maybe.
Welcome to the Chip and Cern Show, the podcast about everything and nothing at the same time. They were possibly separated at birth, only to be rejoined to create the sweet sounds that will caress your deepest cochlea. The show is real, random, rant-filled, and ruthless. Please be warned that this show may hurt your feelings, offend your grandma, and even kick your dead dog in the balls. So get ready, and let's get this shit started.
This shit has started. I'm Chip.
I'm Cern.
And you are listening to the Chip and Cern Show.
Yes, once again. Or possibly for the first time.
Well, literally, Cern and I, this is how much how much progress and growth we've had as people, Cerny. When we were doing this podcast, we've done probably close to 500 episodes, I would say, in the grand scheme of things. Every episode, we used to be crushing beers. Now, we're crushing bubblies. We're just a couple of bubbly bros here. I'm having a strawberry. And me and Cern are just going over our bubblies.
So it's like as we get older, it's like 3:00 in the afternoon. I'm like, it's still a little early for a beer. I don't even want to do one.
Yeah.
Before it'd be like noon, and we're like,
no problem. But
high life.
I mean, this doesn't. I try not to let this happen because we were just talking about before the before the show. You have a great group of friends and you're really close and tight when even the slightest misstep as a person just opens you up for a fucking beating from your friends. You have a good group of people to hang with if that happens. And I was unknowingly the victim this time, and it totally fucking flew right by me. And Cerny, I had to ask for some clarification this morning, and he clued me in that I, in fact, was the punching bag.
Miss it. Some hot Giants talk.
Yeah.
Joe was starting the Dos Los. He wanted both Carlos Correa and Carlos Rodon. So he was saying Giants for Dos Los. Mm-hmm. And everyone's going, all right, yeah. And then Chip was like, I hope the Giants get Carlos or Rodon. And I was like, oh no, he missed it. When he said it, I was like, he missed it, and the Wolves are going to be out. And sure as shit, they jumped all over it.
There was gifts coming in, properly. So what's the Los part?
Carlos.
Oh, Carlos. Fucking hell, I'm still out. No wonder I can't get it. It's such a deep joke. It's multi-layered. It blew right by me. I never had a chance.
I knew what Joe was going for, but when he said that, I was like, uh-oh. And then I actually got a side text from Joe. It's like,
no.
0 chance Chip knows what we're talking about, and I'm getting him. I was like, oh, no.
Joe smelled water. He smelled blood in the water.
He did.
He came to get me.
I was laughing when he was like, there's 0 chance he knows. I was like, yeah, man. I don't think he knew either because it was right after he had said it.
I had just earned some goodwill with my niche knowledge of Judge Mills Lane references, and
that's right.
His passing, Dana tried to get a couple punches in on me, but I was ready for it. I know my Judge Mills Lane.
Mills Lane, I was like, and I knew when he said something to you, he's like, he was a ref. I was like, does he know? But then when he said he was the Celebrity Deathmatch ref, yes, on the MTV claymation thing, you used to watch that at my house. Remember with my dad?
Yes.
We used to watch that.
Oh, concerning one at my house growing up, we didn't even have cable. Like we had. So what channels do you have? Your ABC, your NBC, your Fox, your local channels.
That's KVIE,
PBS,
South PBS,
C-SPAN 2. We had all those, but no cable. So anything good, I had to that's why I was so eager in my youth just to get out of my house, because my house had nothing beyond just shelter and a bed.
When we were older, your parents did spring for cable, but then they locked all of the...
Yeah, they only allowed PG. If the show was PG or less, it was green light. PG-13.
Even if it was on
TV.
Like, remember, yeah. So it was like they would bleep out the cussing. They would.
There's
cut
no
out
titties. There's no sex
No.
scenes. It's on TNT. It's a
But
pretty
still.
yeah.
Still.
It's too much. And mind you, how old were we? 16, 17, 18?
Yeah.
And my brother
Yeah.
would have been right there behind me. So there was no age, but they didn't abide to what the government says about what age they brought upon themselves to figure it out.
Yeah.
And the good
trust
book, I'm sure, had some guidance as well. But
What chapter was that in? No cable.
dude, yeah, Revelations maybe. Porn, and I forgot where we are going now. Oh, the claymation. Yeah, I had the Judge Mills Lane, and I also remember he had a show. It was on like before or after Judge Judy.
Oh, yeah.
He also was a celebrity judge. And I think I remember watching his show a couple times because he would always he would be like hit the thing. He's like, let's get it on or whatever.
Let's get it on.
Let's get it on.
Yeah.
That was his catchphrase, and that's how he would open the courts or hear the case, or whatever. Which that's how you knew it was complete fucking bullshit.
Yeah. You seen like those court shows? Have you ever seen that guy? He's like Palmer Troll or something, where he like goes on Facebook as or Wendy's or whatever. Like these. Oh, it has me roaring. Like he'll go on to like some guy was complaining about the. Oh, it was like there's this one where some guy went on Facebook was complaining because like REI or whatever was closed. Mm-hmm. Oh no, TJ Maxx was closed on Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Boo! This is the guy's like, this is just another day. You guys should be open." So then he like made his own TJ
he
Maxx,
made an impersonation account of TJ Maxx.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, and then wrote like, "Sure, we'll be open if you open your house on Thanksgiving." And he's like, "I'm writing to corporate." About this rude letter, and then corporate would be like, doesn't matter, we're still closed. We won't read your complaint because we're closed.
I have seen, and he's this person has done it a couple times. And the replies are snarky enough that you're like, they're really pushing the envelope with like what's cool or what's acceptable from corporate speak. They're pushing that envelope way, way far, but they're also not saying "fuck you" where it's overly fake. So it dupes a lot of people.
Yeah. Where there was one that was like the same guy was complaining about the Macy Days parade because the two women kissed, and he was like, "Ooh, it's gross. It's okay to be G ... ellipses."
Yeah.
And he was like, and then he wrote his Macy's. It's like, and his name was Trey. He was like, "It's okay to be gay. It's okay to be Trey." Whatever it was. Like he made a little rhyme, and he's like, "This is ridiculous." And then he wrote as TJ Maxx underneath it again, like, "We're still closed." And he's like, the guy was confused. Like, TJ Maxx and Macy's are the same company? But like he said, I saw this thing where he said he used to go on these court shows when he was like 20 years old because they would pay you. And he would pick a friend to quote unquote sue and like win, but he wouldn't collect the money. They would just get paid. And the guy would be like, "Okay, cool." Like for being on TV.
Okay, so I'd be like, Cerny's my neighbor. We built a fence. It was $10,000. He's not paying me $5,000.
Yeah.
So I've taken you to small claims court or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and they make a ruling, and
okay,
they just get paid for the show.
Yeah, because they're actors essentially.
I was like, he beat the system.
Nah, man, he really figured that out. So yeah, So Judge Judy did she recently pass? No.
I don't know. No, I didn't. Maybe. I don't know.
Judge Judy. Oh, no. Judy. Google got me. Judge Judy, it's a reality show. We know that.
Oh, really?
What about the person?
What? About the judge.
Yeah, what about the judge?
I mean, I'm sure they're real judges. I'm not going to...
Yeah, no, we're not questioning her credentials.
Just the show itself.
Yeah. Theme... I'm trying to get there. Because it's also a... Oh, here we go. Judy Shine. Oh, she's still alive. 80. She's 80 years old. Had her 80th
she's still working
this year. She's still working.
Wow.
So she was in Judge Judy from 1996 to 2021, and then she's Judy Justice. So a new show. Oh no, it's streaming only. Uh-oh. This might be
the downfall. This is the beginning and the end.
Oh boy. Well, it's been nice knowing you, Judge Judy, and it's only Amazon. 80. It's only on Amazon.
Oh, not even the good streaming services on Amazon.
She gone. Rip. Well, maybe this is a little payday for her. You know, a couple $1,000,000. You get one season of your show, and then just write off. You're 80 years old. What do you need to be hearing fake fucking court cases for anyway? You don't need money that bad.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, especially if you're a judge. I'm sure she was getting paid pretty good.
Yeah. And she doesn't, the work attire is very cheap. It's just how dark black can you keep this thing? She probably uses that is there like an opposite of bleach? Like indigo dye. Oh. She's constantly dying.
Oh, she's just dying.
Yeah, just keeping it as dark as possible. So I missed the fucking joke in the group chat, and I took a beating. I should just
every so often. Sometimes you whiff one, and I know as soon as I see the messages, I'm like,
oh man,
Chipper just.
I almost reached out last night to you, like one off.
I was actually going to text you, but then I got sidetracked.
Yeah.
With something else, and I was like, and then I forgot until this morning, and then it started up again. And I was like, oh
I forgot all about it. Let me see what 4 or 5 unanswered. I just have to let this go. I can't. I can't even respond. I'm just going to have to wait for a new. The news cycle needs to pass before I can chime back in there. We need the Dos Los to happen.
Dos Los, yeah.
And then if I came back in, maybe I could play it cool. But luckily the secret's safe on here.
Yeah, they won't hear.
Yeah. So I mean, the Giants. How are you feeling about this 13-year, $350 million contract for Carlos Correa?
I think the Giants needed a hitter. They needed to, and it's not like Crawford is 25 anymore. So no. I see they're gonna slide him over to third.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean he still have plenty of range. You know what? It might be okay if you have like 2 shortstops on that side of the field, especially with the shift being banned now. Need the range.
It's a good thought, Cerny. Good thought. My only thing is that it's not like he's in his early 20s. He's 28 years old. Yeah, so a 13-year deal is going to take him into his 40s. My math.
Yeah. Well, it's like the same thing with Xander Bogaerts. I mean, he's 30 years old. Oh, right. Got an 11-year contract. I was like, ooh.
I don't know about you, but I feel like all these deals this year have just been gangbusters. Like, is the MLB or the owners not paying attention to what everyone else is? Like, all I see when I turn the news on is everyone's getting laid off, and then here we in the MLB, people are getting fucking paid.
Raises. We're getting raises, everybody.
Everyone's getting raises. I mean, the Padres, everyone's coming out with these multi-$100-million offers. It's just, it's wild right now.
The Padres are dropping some cash. I would hate to go see a game there next year. Go see what the fucking beer costs. Bud Light, like $35
probably. Yeah. Jesus.
Well, it's inflation, everybody. Like, or am I paying for all these contracts you just shelled out?
Yeah, and there's never deflation. Like, when all this settles down and however long that takes, it's not like Safeway's going to go, okay, what we marked up from $3.99 to $5.99? Roll it back, people.
You've been paying $5.99, and we'll just keep it that way.
Yeah. And then what? And I mean, we get squeezed. The consumer feels the squeeze, but not Carlos Correa. He'll be doing just fine for himself.
Who's that?
Correa, he'll be doing fine.
Oh, yeah, Correa. Yeah. I thought you said some Bezos or something. I was like, yeah, he's doing fine.
Bezos is probably also doing well. I feel like, how whatever MLB or Giants fan account that you follow on Instagram, I always see they do, projected lineup 2023 after a big trade where people are going to go. There's still some gaps in the Giants lineup. I'm not like, I feel really strong about this.
No, I mean, they signed Mitch Haniger or whatever. Yeah. I was like, oh,
and Jock's your number 4 hitter. I'm like,
Yeah, another 250 hitter. Sweet.
Yeah.
All right.
Score. So the Giants, I think they still have some more payroll to unload if possible.
Yeah, I like I said before, like I think the last podcast where we were waiting for the judge blue balls.
Oh yeah,
the MLB and their push notifications with
it's too much.
Let's see who's next and who we can predict where it's going. Where it's like, I wish I can have a job where I could just make a prediction and be wrong, but yeah, who fucking knew?
And like Heyman, just fuck up and break the wrong news, like do your job poor, like be bad at your job, and then still have your job.
Oops, sorry.
Whoops.
Okay,
whoopsie.
Go.
Don't mind those journalistic integrity.
Jump the gun. Like, okay, so this still should happen then? If you jump the gun, you're saying it's going to happen. You just prematurely announced it, and then it didn't even happen.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
So, but yeah, and they're all using the same one tweet. One tweet causes like 15 fucking articles and notifications to come out. ESPN, the Atlantic, all these.
Yes, they all do
these ones. Where are you consuming your sports news these days? Sorry.
Most of my sports news, just general sports news, is CBS Sports. They seem to be they seem to be the fairest as far as like when they do power rankings, things of that nature.
Okay.
Because like ESPN is heavy East Coast bullshit.
East Coast bias,
it's always either the Cowboys, the Eagles, fucking Patriots, whoever, the Bills now. So I'm always like, or Tom Brady. No matter what that guy does, it's love for Tom Brady.
Oh,
so CBS is generally pretty fair, so I usually just go with them.
Nice. And then for baseball or specifics, MLB.com, yeah.
Even though MLB is heavy with the Yankees, but they'll...
yeah. They're...
Like if MLB, if you like look at the articles, if you don't select because I'll do like Giants is like my favorite team, so like if I get any kind of news, for Giants. Yeah. But if you don't, it's still it is like the NFL where it's like if you were an outsider, you're an alien and came to the planet, it'd be like there seems to be like 4 teams: the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers, and the Cubs.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, I actually for that reason for the trade, any sort of like player of movement stuff. I love the MLB trade rumors site. It's just really
I do love that.
Simple.
I go there too.
They also don't have a shitload of fucking ads. I've been getting so pissed off from ads lately. I mean, I'm part of the problem. It's literally what I do for work. So I literally contribute to my own demise. But yeah, I like that. And then
don't take your work home with you.
Try not to. I do have. Have you heard of the Atlantic? They were kind of like a. I don't know. But anyway, the New York Times bought the Atlantic, and I have a New York Times like digital subscription. So they're like, "Oh, try the Atlantic out," and that's where that Ken Rosenthal guy writes for. Like he's an exclusive writer, so they have all these different exclusive rights. Anyway, I've been trying that, and I'm trying to like not be beat up so much by Joe and Dan. I'm trying to learn more about at least the what's happening on the headlines.
Basics.
So I'm trying. This is my test for number 1.
I didn't watch. So the World Cup was, I think, still going on. I didn't watch.
It is. Argentina versus France, I believe, is the final at the time of recording. Yeah.
So I don't really watch because I don't give a shit. I'm like your traditional.
It's not an American pointed sport. No. It's rest of world.
Yeah, everybody else. So last week I had to drop some cookies off at Step Boy Dana's house. So. I go over there, and he has like the World Cup on. And he was like
such a Dana.
He knew the fucking players by name. Like for Croatia, I mean, I knew Messi because he's like the best in the world.
Yeah, he's the
I couldn't
superstar.
name you like the Croatian fucking team captain. So I was just laughing because I was like, yeah, that's
classic.
That's classic. But I didn't watch. That's the only minutes I've ever watched of the World Cup was at Stat Boy's house.
Well, my daughter came home, and a lot of the boys in the class are like really into soccer, and they're like, "Oh, Messi," and they're really into Messi and stuff. So Charlie comes home, and she goes, "Dad, can we watch the World Cup?" I'm like, "Sure." She goes, I want Messi to win. She knows who she's rooting for just because what everyone else is saying in the class.
Yeah, okay.
So I look it up, and Peacock has it, but they only have Telemundo. So it's only in Spanish, and Charlie's like, why are they in Spanish? I'm like, blah, blah, blah. It is more exciting to watch it that way, if because I don't really know what they're saying anyway. Like, it's easier to watch.
I had a hard time following
explained.
like the time because it's like it's still going even if it's out of bounds, and then they have like these
stoppage.
Like, fuck yeah.
So the refs. This was very confusing to me at first. So basically, if the ball goes out of bounds, the refs. I don't know how they divide and conquer this, but they sort of keep track of stopped time, and then at the end they all come up with a number of like, okay, there's 7 more minutes of stoppage time to play. So at the end of the regulation time, then the refs have all decided, and nobody knows this number besides the refs. They say, okay, there's 2 minutes of stoppage time, there's 7 minutes, there's 30 minutes, and sometimes the stoppage time, because there's not a lot of insights that people get to it, it's just only the refs. If the team's losing and it's like a home thing, all of a sudden they get like crazy amount of stoppage time to try to come back.
Yeah, and,
of course.
Like, what the hell? It was the game it was on that Dana had it on was Croatia versus Brazil, and that's where the Brazilian during the penalty kick, the guy for Brazil like kicked the ball and hit the crossbar for the loss or whatever. And
I missed that.
That's the only thing I really saw. I was like, wow, okay. And I was like, you know what's sad? And I just made a joke. It might be true. I was like, I wonder if his family is now kidnapped by the Brazilian government because he lost the fight.
I mean, some of the stuff.
I hear these crazy stories when they lost and like they murder the fucking guy. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
There was guys like uncontrollably sobbing in the stands. I mean, it is.
I mean, people are. It is definitely a way of life for them for sure.
I mean, I get mad, when the Rams lose the Niners, but I'm like sobbing.
Yeah. I mean, and you're kind of over it in a day or two, but I mean, there's people that are still not over an election loss from we're over coming on 2 years ago now.
I can see that.
We still have that. We still have this.
That's a
problems
connection.
Did you ever get into any of the the internet's calling the Web3 movement? The NFTs or the crypto, the Bitcoins.
Oh, the digital stuff. I didn't. Web3.
That's what their Web 3.0 is kind of how they're coining it. But you saw the FTX has basically one of the largest crypto, Bitcoin, NFT marketplaces, exchanges rather. So like the stock exchange, but for crypto, one of the biggest ones. It was a fucking pyramid scheme, more or less.
Of course, yeah.
So the founder pieced after headed down to the Bahamas, and then he got arrested.
You got to pick. That's a rookie move. You got to pick a country that doesn't have an extradition agreement with the United States.
Can he get a line into Snowden? I don't know if he's going to be as wanted as Snowden is, but that dude can dodge people from the United States. That's all I know.
Yeah.
But it probably involves going to Russia or some other.
I wonder if there's a nice tropical place you can vacation.
Yeah, tropical countries with no extradition policy to the United States. You just look up everyone who's Googled that, and there's a couple leads for you for the IRS.
Team's waiting for you at the airport.
Yes. Well, he was all the I subscribe to all these kind of marketing tech email newsletters, the Morning Brew and Charter. I think you're probably subscribed to some. I know some of my other friends, we all share the same. Like, did you read that? And he's like, oh yeah, we all read the same newsletters, like a couple old guys. Yeah. And everything was just roasting him, like against every logical explanation. Founder speaks to media multiple times, speaking about, I didn't intentionally commit fraud, or it wasn't my intent. It's like, what are you doing, dude? He's just digging his hole.
I didn't
deeper
mean
and deeper.
to. That's like, that's always a great one.
So he was taking funds that were deposited into the exchange and then using that money without obviously disclosing it to fund other obviously risky financial things. They found out they were over leveraged. one giant dude basically cashed out and down it came.
You know, was he alive during 2008 when?
I don't know. He looks like he was pretty young, but
can't Google it.
yeah, history. Have you heard of Enron? What is this Enron scandal you speak of?
What?
Well, this company was huge and worth billions of dollars, and these reports are coming out that they were literally managing it with like QuickBooks. Can you fucking imagine? You're worth billions of dollars, and you're like trying to run the finance operations on QuickBooks.
I just got to do my easy 40. I'm gonna
I got the 1040 easy this year, so tax time will be a breeze for us. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll have it done in an hour. Lickety split.
Yeah, because just right around the corner here, before we know it, the Super Bowl is going to be here, and FTX was one of the largest spenders of the Super Bowl commercials. They're actually sponsored the umpires' uniforms. You know, they had the FTX logo on their.
Oh yeah,
That's the same thing. So they're gonna have to cut those off. But
de-stitch those. We'll see what's coming in to save the day.
All umpires, please return all jerseys for FTX removal, patch removal. Thank you.
Bear Stearns is come back and
yes, Goldman Sachs is the new. Actually, LensCrafters has been a last-minute addition to the sponsorship for the umpires.
Oh yeah, that
would be fucking great, dude. That would be so
man.
good. Now, so I mean, the MLB probably had that wasn't like a 1-year sponsorship. Probably had a 5-10 year agreement with the MLB for those things, and now the MLB was forecasting all this revenue, advertising revenue, that now is just poof.
It's gone.
It's gone. Uh-oh. And here the owners are just shelling out fat fucking contracts. So Manfred, he's gone. Well, you heard it here first.
You heard it first. Breaking news. Jim Concern. If we're wrong, we'll just say we jumped the gun.
Yes. That's we tend to do this a lot. We have jumped the gun. Which is why no one should believe anything that we're saying. But, yeah. We have that going on. Twitter somehow is still up, but Musk is trying hard to bring that fucking thing down.
Yeah, isn't he cutting costs even bigger again?
Yeah,
he's like one of those guys that like everyone's like, "Hey, dude, come on," and he just doubles down.
It's very some report of the New York Times this morning. He hasn't paid rent on all their buildings, so they're just not paying rent, and they were talking about potentially not paying out severance to all the people that they laid off. Like,
boy,
that's not just like a business. That's just you're being a fucking asshole. Like that's it's just
you can't pull out of your own checkbook if that's the case.
Yeah.
Jesus. It's the same. So I don't know if you saw that. It's like like this. Amazon did this thing where if you get a delivery, you can thank your driver, and it would like.
We did that. I had to look. It was so hard to figure out how to do it. Did you guys try it?
Amazon, yeah, we were doing that too. And Amazon would kick the driver an extra $5.
Mm-hmm.
Ended it in a day.
Of course.
I was like, what?
The
fucking guy can't swing it?
I think I think what we're both saying, I feel like a lot of people are feeling is like the ultra rich are just
holding the money.
They're just holding the money, and they keep trying to make everyone work harder and harder, but they're not paying anybody, and they just keep getting richer, and we keep getting more fucked.
Yeah.
And pissing in water bottles and shit. Well, that's too bad about that. We did that as well. Like, yeah, what would be the harm in saying, oh, we're not going to make an extra... Let's say they did that for the week of Christmas as like a thank you, and you get $5... Fucking a $5 Amazon gift card. Just keep it all. It's all house money. Just keep it all. Keep it all in the house, and you do that for a week. Okay, we're gonna have $5 million less revenue this year, but we took care of our employees who are like the boots on the like. What's the problem in doing that?
Yeah, I know that's the problem.
That's fucked up, man.
It's a corporation that they think. Well, you're replaceable, so you don't like it. Go somewhere else.
Yeah, totally. And they're like, build these robots faster. These humans they're not being as compliant as previously.
Who's complaining? user employee ID 6584.
You go.
That's all you are. You're just a number.
You go. Oh yeah, for sure. But oh man, Christmas it's here. And Cerny, I will say, the Elf on the Shelf showed up. The beginning of December, we have, now when I say we, I mean 95% my wife, 5% me. We have not had a snafu yet. Knock on wood.
Oh, knock on wood. It is. I hate that thing. I hate it. I ruined it. I just said, I just thought it's not real.
Now,
I threw the fucking thing away, too.
You threw it. Oh my God, Cerny. Dude, there's a whole. I do think the allure, and everyone's operating under these same rules of it can't be touched by kids, helps it have so much impact.
Yeah, and you always see those things on Facebook or Instagram, the ideas.
Yeah,
like, that's a cool idea.
It's one idea for one day.
You still got like 25 more to go. So it's like no. Some was over the top. I like the one where it was a bunch of shit, and someone's like, I don't love my kids that much.
I saw that. It was like 3 pots of spaghetti with like 2 bags of M&Ms spilled all over. Like, the elves cooked for us.
Oh, fuck.
I'm like,
then you gotta clean it up.
No, fuck that shit. Well, on that note, my wife bought on Etsy, or I don't know where the fuck she found this, a kit. And you just say how many days you're going to have the elf for, and they mail you a new thing to do every day. So they sent us a box, and it's not huge.
Genius.
I know, it's pretty good. It's like it has an easel, and then some days have like a card, like, the elf, what was one, like, all aboard the shoo train. So the elf has like a sign, and then you line up shoes and you put the elf in it. So it gives you it takes 5 minutes to do it every night. And the packages and it everything's in it's like, okay, day 18, and they all tie together and they have a theme. So that has been easy mode for us. So that's what's helping us, I think, do it so consistently.
It plays off of the advent calendar. That's a good idea.
It's basically the advent calendar of Elf on the Shelf products. And I asked my wife this question. I was like, I don't care, but just out of curiosity, how much did this cost? Just because I want to understand the value to time. She said $40. I'm like, great.
Great money. Well spent.
Great. Well spent $40. No problem.
I don't know how many times you've had a company like, what are you going to do today? Like, I don't know. It's like I'm throwing it somewhere.
Right. And you want to do the funny thing where they're like, over the toilet with saran wrap and he's pooping Hershey Kisses in there. You want to do all these ones that you see on Facebook, but that you could maybe do that once or twice, but every fucking day.
Maybe if you were like a grandparent that didn't work, like you'd have all this time.
Yes.
At the end of the day, sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm having a glass of wine and I'm not doing a fucking.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, the fucking elf.
Speaking of which, how's your wine advent calendar been coming along?
It's been going good. I had a couple days of whites. Which
are you trying them out, or
yeah?
Okay.
Actually, one of them
suffer through.
Actually, I had a spare bottle of red just in case I got one.
Nice.
I'm not feeling whites. I'm just gonna pull out the red. But
yeah, it is winter, so it's not white season. Isn't it? The white's time to shine. White wine. Got to be careful. Ooh. White wine. It's time to shine is the summer, I think.
Yeah, with the fish or whatnot, but it's like, sometimes I just don't want to. I don't feel like it.
Yeah, but it's been going good, and you got Robin one too. That was good. Did she get any more wood combs?
No, I think she got the lotions and stuff for his lip balm and stuff like that nature. Although because of the wood comb, it's Jeffrey's interest. He wants to open it up and see, because he's the one that. He was the winner of chicken dinner of the wood combs. And now it's like, well, what else can I grasp out of this Sephora advent calendar?
We got just the plain old chocolate. You get the little size. Too. Yeah. But we're not dishing it out every night. It's like you got to kind of earn it. Or sometimes you don't remember and they're literally like about to take them to bed. I'm like, we brush the teeth. I don't want to fucking dose them with sugar before we try to have them sleep. It just doesn't make fucking sense.
There's like a whole thing of them. So thinking next year we'll get but we'll have to take a look. Whatever's hot at the time.
there's cool ones, socks and Legos and stuff, but yeah, so sometimes
Funko
they're like,
Pops, all sorts of
we have 4 days of chocolate stored up. I'm like, okay, and they like they're opened up like 4 days. I'm like, oh.
And I don't even like that chocolate either. It's like a little.
It's
boxy.
shit. It's the worst. It's not like a Ghirardelli advent calendar. It's what is the cheapest fucking chocolate we could put in here to sell this thing for 99 cents at Trader Joe's or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, it's Christmas is like it's here.
It is. It's cold.
It is. I mean, for California.
For California, because I get that. I deal with that outside of California, and I was like, man, it's cold. Talking to this guy, he's like, I know. I was like, it's just like shit. The high is like 55, man. He's like, what? He's like, are you fucking kidding? I said, why? He's like, my high is 2. I was like, 2? 2. He said, that's the high, and I was like, he's in like Montana or some shit.
Wow.
I was like, 2. Well, all right. You win this round. It's like 55. That's like a nice spring day. That's like bullshit.
Spring. It really is spring for them, probably.
Oh yeah, yeah. Bullshit. It may be 75 for spring.
You'll be on a call with somebody at work, and you're like looking in the background, just fucking mountains of snow-covered trees. I'm like, what do you live like Winter Wonderland kind of thing? Are you living in here? I'm like, oh, it rained for a couple days. I'm wildly inconvenienced by
because I was telling
the leaves in the street.
He's like, is it really true about people in California? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, the weather? I was like, oh, you mean like it's raining? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh yeah, I ain't going outside if it's raining. Fuck that. He's like, seriously? I said, oh yeah.
It is a weird thing, and it's so easy just to get comfortable. You just get so acclimatized to it quickly, and it's the same thing when we lived in San Francisco. It's even a more dialed down version because it never gets above 75. Like the temperature is always 60 to 75 in San Francisco in the city, and we lived there for like 10 years.
Yeah,
and we're like, oh, we forgot what like a summer 100 degrees is like, and you know, California is just so it's just a nice climate to live in. There's not a lot of issues, minus fires as of late. But the rains will be good for that, I think. It'll be good to keep.
It keeps like. I remember it was last year. It rained. We're like, all right, sweet, we're getting rain, and then it just stopped. You're like, well, fuck.
Damn it. Yep. Any big ticket Christmas things topping your list out, or what are the kids into these days? What's the top of their list?
You know, the Pokemon cards is hot and center.
Okay. So what, like a box of the newest gen?
Yep, that was in there. But also they're like eyeing like older boxes. Like
so now they're getting into the collecting, the acquiring. Okay, nice.
Yeah,
the vintages.
Now, I was asked for one of the super old packs, and I was like, super old? What do you mean? I was like, motherfucker, they're like $19.99. That's all you get. And he's like, yeah, those are way old. I was like, watch yourself. Watch yourself. Or
check yourself.
Krampus is coming this year. Not even Santa. Krampus is going to beat your ass.
Dude, Krampus is legit scary. Have you seen like when people dressed up like Krampus?
Oh,
he
yeah.
Like horns. He's very, very scary looking. Pokemon cards.
Yeah, but I looked and I was like, oh, let me see what those go for. No.
On
it's
eBay?
They like weigh them and stuff too, but like unweighed, somebody held on.
You're just trusting somebody's.
Yeah, these packs can go for like $2,000 a pack,
and you don't know if you're getting fucking bamboozled either.
No, yeah. There's the Pokerev. Like he opened a box, like a box of like the 1999. It cost him like $80,000.
Jesus Christ!
I was like, what? Yeah,
like, okay, kid, you're not going to college. You get one pack of cards.
Okay, even some of the other ones, there's like Sun and Moon era, like he's telling me, which is like he says they're old, but this like
they're old,
2013. So I was like, okay,
yeah,
they're still going for like there was like a box. It was like $2,000. I was like, fuck that,
Jesus. So it all has to do with how much supply there is, I suppose.
Oh yeah.
So one of them they print off so many runs, and then whatever.
Yeah, that was what from
Okay.
what I learned
That
from
makes
all the many hours of watching PokeRev with Jeffrey. We've figured that
Cracking
out. Where it's
packs.
like he'll be like, they only ran this for like 2 months or something like that. So this is a very rare, run. And this other one,
that
like
makes sense.
they ran it and then they reran it, so it's like it ain't worth a shit.
Oh, unless you have the first editions or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. It's like the the 80s and 90s baseball cards. They're worthless because they just ran so many of those things.
So many, yeah. They were just printing those things off. Okay, that's 10-year-old. What 10? Right, somewhere around
Yeah,
there.
yep.
Okay. Then what is a sophomore, junior, senior in high school?
His is sports cards. Sports cards.
Oh, okay.
I have a
So
feeling
just whatever NFL or MLB.
Yeah,
whatever they're into.
he's like I think he's like Joe, or the thrill of the
hunt.
hunt.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
Nice.
so these things are like scratchers, basically. Like you
I know,
buy
dude.
it and you're gonna get a dud, or you can get a hit, or whatever it
Yeah.
is. But it's a gamble, and it's like that's
Just scratching that itch every time.
yeah.
Damn.
And then clothes and other shit
Clothes.
for the eldest.
Yeah, the elderly. Nice.
What's
Yeah, I mean, I guess
what's
that's
hot
easier.
on what's hot on
A lot of kits I've noticed. It's hard to really get out. Well, the 3-year-old cat. He wants a cat.
a live
like
one?
an actual. Yeah, and I'm like, we've just explicitly said multiple times we're not getting cats this year. It's just not happening. Like, we can't communicate this as clearly as possible. But so TBD. At that age, you can kind of what
Distract.
Yeah. It's not a thing. Now the 7-year-old has a lot more opinions. There's she's very much into coloring. So like coloring, marker kits, even though we have multiple drawers just full of every marker. And I remember my parents talking about, you have millions of markers, but there's something about the new fresh box that just makes it that much better. So those kind of things. And yeah, some clothes and stuff too. So
Sweet.
Nothing massive, which is nice. But
it's nothing worse than. Well, I mean, there's many things worse, but I remember, like you'd have to build some big ass thing and like.
I've put that time in this 3-story doll, like Barbie house.
I
basically.
remember that. I remember that.
I had my friend come over. We spent like 2 hours freezing our fucking asses off in the garage, and we got like basically the skeleton of, and then me and Kristen later that night had to do more. Like, it was a 4 or 5 hour assembly thing, and we got the Power Wheels one year. That was a whole fucking.
What's funny too is like you hide the presents around.
Yeah,
I always hide it in places where it's like I haven't seen anybody come into this area for like months.
Yes.
And as soon as I hide something there, it's like they have like this tractor beam,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have to like hey, come back over. You're like, can you, they're like, what? And there's I keep going, and I have to like yell like, get away from there, and like what, and then they're confused like, what the hell,
Yeah,
and
like,
then they pick up, like, oh, why can't I come over here? Like because I said so, because it's a legal zone.
And then now you got to move it because it's been ID'd. Cover's blown. Get the hell out of there. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, our next will only be like 4 days away from Christmas on our next. Actually, no, the next episode will drop Christmas
right before
Eve.
Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe we'll have some hot cocoa.
Oh, there we go.
Or hot toddy, or some little something in the.
There you go.
Hot chocolate. There we go.
Little schnapps in the coffee.
Put a little fireball in there, maybe a little Goldschlager.
Goldschlager.
Oh,
No,
cancel.
No. I can't dance that anymore.
No
Goldschlager.
Goldschlager.
Retired from Goldschlager.
No thanks. Somehow they still are in business. They're still slinging those things to 19 to 21-year-olds all around the world.
All around the world.
Have you met an adult that genuinely that likes Goldschlager?
Yes, and it was offered to me at one point, and I said no.
Is this somebody I know?
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to have to get this name off the record.
Yeah. It's hey, you ever had this? I said, yeah, when I was 19. Like, you want something now? I said, no, I'm not 19.
Not looking to throw up.
I'll just drink my coffee.
Nice. Oh, I think I know. You told me the story already.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on board. I'm on board now. Well, that's it for today, folks. We gone and done it again. Another,
Episode
another
in the
bit
books.
of hilarity. Another one of the books. Getting close to 400 of these fuckers. We'll have to do a count, but it doesn't. We're not counting, so I guess you don't need to be counting either. Anyway, Giants, go make some more moves. Make Dos Los happen. Make
Dos
it
Los.
happen. Dos Los over and out. Until next time, I'm Chip.
I'm certain.
Cheers.